Hi guys, so it is Tuesday. Sorry, I completely lost track of the days. It's Tuesday, so it's our last full day in Yeri today. And we're back at apartments again after, a fairly busy day again. We're starting to wind down now. Tomorrow is our last day here before we start our travelling home. I know everybody else is kind of feeling the same, but I'm starting to feel the sadness creeping a little bit about leaving the guys here and the goodbyes tomorrow. We spend so much time with our Kenyan friends, significant periods of time during the day, and then we're in constant contact. And so when we leave, it's quite an adjustment for us. Personally, for me, most definitely, I can feel the little bit of the heartache starting to creep in. So today, we were back at the Inspire Library following the programme that we didn't quite get to do last Tuesday because we were late arriving back into Nyeri. So we had primary kids from the local school, from Hillstead School again, basically following the programme as described in some other videos. As a story, an opportunity for them to ask questions and check comprehension, and then they get some sort of activity after that. This time round, though, the children were challenged to write letters back to Rose Harty Primary School in Fraserburgh. Heather and Gillian, our colleagues, had arranged for the school pupils, put my teeth back in, to write some letters to the children here, which were read out in the library today, and the children wrote some letters back. So I'm really excited to be able to feed that back to Rose Harty Primary. I believe they're doing a project on Africa at the moment, so that should be super exciting for them to get some feedback from us and see some photos. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from them when we return. Lynn and I made a trip to the supermarket mid-morning to buy a few resources, some fine motor skill balls and some bubbles for a place that we visited over lunchtime called Metropolitan Sanctuary. So it is a rehabilitation centre for children, young people and adults who have learning disabilities and also physical disabilities. So it's something I've never been to before. It doesn't necessarily fit with I guess the purpose of our trip, because it wasn't literacy focused, but it was interesting to see. Emily has a connection with them personally. She's had some problems with her knees in the past, and so she's used the physiotherapy department to help with that. But it was interesting, I guess, to see a different type of facility where they're supporting the community through ministry and also, like I said, through physical rehabilitation. Overall, it was, I think we thought there was some outdated practice, but I guess that's not to be unexpected. But like I said, it was interesting to have those conversations with the staff, just in terms of the support that they're providing to children and young people with, like I said, learning difficulties and physical disabilities. After that, we were back to the library. John was finishing up his filming today, so we had some last minute kind of observation filming from our visit to the prison, but equally wanted to speak to us individually about our journeys, what we'd been up to, and then it finished off with me looking at had we actually achieved what we'd hoped to achieve during our trip. And I think overall the answer is yes. I think our team has done a significant amount of learning around how to integrate literacies, how literacies are delivered, our family learning offer, our embedded literacy stuff, how we integrate and incorporate reading into learning, even where reading isn't necessarily the final outcome desired by our learners. There's lots of learning on our behalf. I think the Kenyan guys are just starting to get to grips with some of the things that we are doing. I think sometimes it's difficult for them to understand that whilst we live somewhere completely different to Kenya, that actually we still have adults and young people who have significant literacy needs. I think because because we are a developed country, that we don't have those problems in society, and I guess we know that that's not the case. So I think there's a little bit of learning still to be done there, and hopefully we'll be able to continue that as the time goes on. Once we're back, and we'll obviously keep connected up with the guys, and you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'd be looking to submit another application for a second year funding to do a reciprocal exchange. I think we'll have tomorrow, like I said, is our last day here. We'll be leaving for Nairobi probably around 3 p.m. So we've got, you know, 5 or 6 hours with the team to do some reflection, to think about what's next, and do some planning. So I'll be heading to bed fairly soon. I'm at my point of saturated tiredness, so I've got some packing to do. We have to be out of our apartments probably about 10 o'clock tomorrow, so we'll have a relatively easy start, and that's me. So this might be my last video update. It's new to me, but actually I've quite enjoyed them, just taking a little bit of time in the evening to reflect. So anyway, it's good night, and I'll probably speak to you guys when I'm back in Scotland. Bye bye.